cuss you out, you don't know what you do, you just mute them. Okay?
Damn.
But I promise you, I've never been cussed out from saying, hey guys, how you guys doing?
Probably
Hey guys, how are
not.
you doing? Right?
Yeah.
Like, and then all of a sudden, hey Phoenix, you wanna fight in these things? And then I'll one way it. And then, yeah, and then boom, you're good. Right? But anyway, traditionally, when you're playing Ascent, right, you typically want to fight for control of neutral space on the A side, because it's like the only neutral space you can fight for easily.
Yeah, I tried doing that later in the
Yes, but the problem is you're trying to do it probably alone, and that's where your
and
problem comes in.
yeah.
God, that is the quietest aiming call I've ever heard in my entire life. I didn't even notice it the first time.
Maybe my mic recording, or like the the NVIDIA thing was turned down too much. I'm actually not sure how I sound in game. I've never heard it. I don't know how loud my mic is. I know I intentionally have my mic a little softer on my NVIDIA thing. Yeah. I would say that it's not very well played.
Okay, so two big problems right away. This first smoke, fine, not really. Why not?
Late?
None of this is late. I mean, it is late, but it's late because your position, which we already talked about, right?
Yeah.
Right, so, send, start over around, test, neutral, base, earlier. But yeah, so the problem with the smoke, look at it. With the map, right, notice how it bubbles out. You don't want that.
It's not bubbling out that much, is it?
Does it matter if it... Okay, let me ask you a question. If you stab somebody slightly versus fully thrust a knife into their stomach, did you still stab them?
Well, the point is they can't like AD out of the side of it, right? I'm not sure if this is
They can.
they can.
Okay,
This
so
is
here's,
bad
you
enough?
are trying
I'm not
to
sure.
cope. Let me ask you a question. You are trying to cope right now, and the reason why I'm going to call you out on
Okay,
coping
okay,
is because you're going to do it, right?
I
You're
understand.
saying, oh, the mistake's not that bad. But is it a mistake?
I understand like why not, how not to do it, but I didn't
Why
think
didn't you do it?
I didn't think this was like out enough to the point where they could just AD out of it. You know.
This is essentially what your smoke looks like.
Okay, that looks a lot worse top down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And you can see it. Look, this person's out of the smoke, and somebody in front isn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like not the best. And then here, I don't think you need to go into your smoke. The point of this smoke is the same as backside C. It's to like you can play inside of it if you want to, but it's to allow you to transition from back here and like fight this side and allow you to like isolate fights, and that's like its full strength of the close this backside like smoke.
yeah, that's why I agree. This was played really badly.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought the whole thing was like more of a, we didn't really be as vocal as we needed to be, and then we kind of just started A site and died.
Oh, it feels super bad to like do things when trying to call. I don't know. I feel like I'm playing significantly worse when I have to constantly think about what to say. Yeah.
Do you have to constantly fail? Let me ask you a question. Do you think that if calming became more natural, you'd get better at it?
I hope it does. My mechanics goes to shit when I try to call, even though I've been kind of, it's been my main focus for a while.
It's your main focus. How often do you watch back your own VODs?
Not super often.
Okay, what I want you to do is pick the VOD you lost today and only pay attention to your comms. Like every day, I want you to pick a VOD that you lost, pay attention to how much you comm, and if you think it's enough. That's it. That's all I want you to do for this, like next week on top of whatever I tell you to do, right? I want you specifically, like, listening to yourself every day to see if you as a teammate. So imagine you're the Phoenix, right? From the Phoenix's POV, and just listen to yourself talk and think if it's enough.
I feel like I would require myself to calm less than what I actually might have to
Why?
sometimes, because like
You didn't.
when
Okay,
I'm
so
playing in the
question.
shader, I'm actually not asking for a lot of comms usually, because I'm
Why?
just like I'm just looking at the minimap and I just do things based off that usually.
But that puts you at a disadvantage. So you're telling me you'd rather have 4 people dead silent versus 4 people giving you perfect comms?
Well, it's not silent, but some things that I feel like some things that I should calm in solo queue, maybe I wouldn't calm to myself if you.
What would you comm in solo queue that you wouldn't comm yourself?
Probably like rotation, like let's rotate. Sometimes I would be like,
Comm that in solo queue.
because people won't rotate, even though they see Brim use
Give me an example.
a ton of his smokes, or he used
Give
them.
me an example.
They molly Killjoy,
I need
molly
no,
went
no, no.
off
I
and
need you
stuff.
to physically show me an example where you call let's rotate and your teammates aren't rotating while you are actively doing the rotation.
Oh no, I didn't mean that. I mean like I feel like in solo queue I should call those things, but I don't if I were, let's say, playing with copies of myself.
Why not?
Because I would just know like, oh yeah, they use so many things here and this amount of time passed, we have no map control on the other side or something. Like,
Yeah, you said you feel like it should be whatever, but what if your teammates, what if one of your other teammates realizes that there's only one player here, and you feel like you can burst and pop on the player, and that's why they're waiting for a flash, and then they go out.
I mean, some things are like, especially when you're waiting out the molly, like say they brim molly, it doesn't really matter if you're gonna just wait and go out. There's a good chance they just rotate in fast enough.
You have this really bad habit of I say something. Okay, let me ask you a question. Is it objectively better to have communication in a game? Is it objectively better to state what you are doing and like what you're going to do to your teammates and what you hear?
Yeah, most of it.
Okay, then why are we even arguing this conversation? I don't want to be an asshole, right? But like, if it is better for you to communicate to your teammates, and it is better for your teammates to have communication, then why are we having this conversation? Like we know it.
Some things.
Some of your comms don't need to be said.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I'm kind of trying to figure out what I need to say and what I don't have to as well.
Okay. Then I will tell you everything in this VOD that you missed communication-wise about what should be being said, right? And that's it. So there's principles of communication. So there's pre-round, there's your mid-round. So communication works in a very basic way, right? So we'll talk about comms. Comms work like this. You give your pre-round comms. This is essentially set up strat, slash help team, set up strat, slash tell teammates what utility you need for strat. Utility you need, slash what you're going to do. There's two types of pre-round comms we're going to do. There's two types of pre-round comms. There's offense and defense, right? Defense, you are setting up play. Defense, you are setting up play on your side of the map. Offense, setting up play for a whole team, right? So for example, if you're IGL and A, you're not going to tell your B players what to do. Does that make sense? On defense, you're setting up with the Phoenix and you want to understand what you and him want to do together. You know? On offense, you are setting up whatever your team is going to do. So for example, if you're 5-man rushing A, hey Killjoy, work outside of B, we're going to start A, and then you maybe work up B. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what you want to do in terms of those situations, right? That's like the whole goal. But yeah, that's how your pre-round comms work. Your mid-round comms work in specific ways, right? So these are what I like to call update comms, right? Update comms. You basically want to anything you are going to do, or not anything you're going to do, but like roughly anything you're going to do within reason, right? For example, like you're not going to call I'm running to spawn, right? You might call hey, I'm rotating to pick up mid, right? A's open, right? That's a good update call, right? For example, oh, I hear a couple outside of A main, right? I hear a lot outside of A main, right? Oh, I see jets in B main, right? Those are update calls. So anything that's kind of going on that is relevant to the enemy's position, that's what you should do. And then there's comms when you die. So it's like as you die comms. Slash what you see. Picking on mid. Careful. What did I say? You're fucking. Thinking you're going to do. Enemies. This is after die comms. This is how much you hit them, or I guess agent name, location, how much you hit them for. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right? And anybody else you saw? Well then, only cog if your teammates aren't calming, right? And only say enemy locations. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So this is how communications are broken down at the fundamental level. There's a giant paper written up by an NA coach named Zotek that you'll also probably find and link to you that involves this more in detail. This is the general gist of things, how communication works, right? And I guarantee you throughout this entire VOD, you might not be doing that.
Yeah.
Like most of these
I have no clue how to calm.
So what did you say? What I mean, okay, what I mean. So here.
I'm not sure what you're screen sharing, but I can't hear it.
Okay, let me change it. My bad, I got you.
Okay.
It's not your fault. Okay, you should hear it now.
Yeah.
So you're like, what I mean? Your voice is so, you should up your volume, your microphone volume, which I can't hear.
I'm not sure how I sound in game actually. The recording is probably
No, I'm
different.
saying up your microphone volume. In
I mean, do I okay, on my recording software. Got it.
Okay, but here you can always test it. You can listen to yourself. Like watch back your own VOD and try to like match your community.
Yeah. Well, that's in game. I have no clue how it sounds. Like, I'm not sure how I sound. I think I sound fine on Discord.
No, but I'm yes, you sound fine at Discord. I'm telling you to up your volume in your recording software so we can hear your voice more clearly.
Okay.
So for example, they flashed. I'm like, for example, this is an update. I'm full blinded, can't help.
Pressing the calm button in the middle of this has to be so hard.
I mean, I do it. I'm a coach. I'm not even a player. And then also don't play your knife when they're fucking sight ever. And then also calming that they're coming out is important as well, right? Know what your teammates know. So that's what we're gonna look at mainly during this VOD. Also here, this is nitpicky. Look at how you're floating the smoke a little high. You don't need to do that. Just make it so it's right on the edge and it perfectly blooms on the edge.
Okay.
It was just a bad habit for no reason. This has to like fall a little bit. No way. Also, I'm gonna say this. Now this is a personal preference as a smoke player. I like, you know how you're standing in line of like this peak angle, you can stand on it. I like to stand slightly wider out here, so I'm not in line with this peak angle. So that way they have to be in the way in order to fight me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because either way, even if they flash me, I still get away, right? Because you have to think the distance that they have to run the one way is the same distance you have to run back to safely evade me. Real one way?
Late, and I missed it.
Yeah. So you need to know when your smoke's gonna fade. You know what the time is of your smoke fading.
I think Omen lasts 18 seconds. Was it?
Omen smoke lasts 16.25.
16? So
16. So you notice at 14, look, your smoke fades, right? That's how you can tell. So you traditionally want to re-smoke.
yeah, I just gotta go off timing in my head. I don't actually know.
Yeah, so you can go off timing in my head. I go off timing in my head, but for some reason, if your timing's fucked up, you can always look at your timer and reassess your timer. That makes sense? So, for example, 14, right? And you can smoke again at 16. So you want to start re-smoking at 16 seconds. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Because you notice how it takes you smoked at 14 and it landed at 11, roughly.
Yeah.
As you start smoking at 16, it balloons a second, the other one stops, right? And then you would have had your gun out, held this one way, and this one died, right?
Yeah.
Following that, and then notice how you just, like, your comms were, like, not only super delayed, but you basically didn't say anything. Phoenix minus 40 A main, I heard Jet there as well. I heard Jet as well. Jet A main, right? Something along those lines, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm like thinking what to say. That's why it's so...
It's hard because you don't do it regularly. You don't think about it regularly, truthfully.
Yeah, I really don't.
So since you don't think about it regularly, it's hard to do, right? I want to turn you into a calming demon.
Everything feels terrible when I try to calm. Even the calm feels terrible.
Yes, so it feels hard to learn a new skill. That is 100%.
Yep.
I've been aim training this whole week. Do you remember how I talked about how I was like a platinum aimer when I met you or whatever? The whole takes, I don't know if I brought it up.
I saw your tweet of your clip being
being
mostly being mostly
yeah.
yeah.
Now look, right? You see my scores? They've gotten way better. They were all platinum. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting better at aiming, and as a result, right? You see my TDM clip.
Not yet, I think.
As a result, you can see that it's translated into the game. Now, let me tell you, does it feel good for me to focus on my aim? No, because I feel like other elements of my game are like lacking, right? Other elements of my game aren't as strong as they should be when I'm developing a new skill. But after I've developed a new skill and I integrate it into my normal gameplay, it's going to be better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of learning a new skill. So this week, I really want you to focus heavily on your communication, like hard. Like I wanted to be like, yes,
I was, I was so pissed about this kill. I was like, nah.
Oh, you think that you deserve the kill?
Yeah, dude, I saw him just...
Not only are you not moving properly, but you're also not on his head.
Yeah. Well, it's not that I feel like I deserved the kill. I was like, damn, how did I mess this up? It looked bad.
You messed it up because you messed up your smoke timing, and as a result of messing up your smoke timing, you had rush shots. That's why. Your aim resonates from the position you put yourself in during the gunfight.
Or I can't hit moving targets, I realize.
Do you aim train?
Not much. Not like particularly. Like if I were gonna play, I would play enough death matches to, finish the daily thing. So I think that's 8. Like 8 team death matches.
Yeah,
usually that's what I do.
If you're playing like 14 rank games, the dailies are done already.
Well, I do it on a different account and then I go on this one. And then I play my ranked matches here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the dailies is just a benchmark for how much deathmatch I should be playing per day, basically.
Okay, so my thing is, remember how we talked about practice and isolation?
Uh,
So death matches, what are you practicing inside your death matches instead of just running around and shooting people?
I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to get used to how people move in the game.
How can
That's
you
what I
get used
feel.
to someone moves? Every
I
human has
don't know.
different movement patterns, you know?
Or like get used to the speed of characters moving and everything. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do that though. But
Okay,
it
so let me ask
feels
you a
like
question.
shooting static targets in an aim trainer is
What about
very
shooting moving
different.
targets in the aim trainer?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like it moves for so long that and it doesn't. I'm not sure if I've just not looked far and hard enough, but I haven't found an aim trainer that. Oh, I feel like the best moving targets are the targets moving in the game, cause they are the same speed and everything. Plus,
Does
you.
speed matter?
Oh,
Are
I
you
did
a
not.
firm believer of sticking to the same sense because of muscle memory?
No, my sense changes quite a bit.
Okay, so do people in game change their movement speeds between whether, it's their acceleration speed, whether it's when they
Yeah,
decide to stop
I'm not.
versus when they
This is
launch?
something I'm not familiar with, so
Yeah.
I have nothing to
So
say really.
yeah, so my question becomes, right? It's like how well do you understand the topic that you're approaching, and how much of the basics do you understand, right?
Yeah, not at
Everything in
all. I'm
everything in
just.
life or in games though is about all understanding basics, right? That's all it is. Like in order to do multiplication, you have to understand addition first, right? Traditionally, right? Well,
Yeah.
maybe not because it's part of pentops, right? But in order to do exponents, you have to understand multiplication. That's probably a
Yeah,
perfect example, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So in order to do that, you have to understand the first one. It's the same thing with like any form of mechanical development, right? In order to have proper movement, you have to understand how to move first, and like why you're moving. So for example, you notice how a lot of people just like strafe back and forth for no reason. So for example, I was watching actually an Immortal, right? It's an Immortal. And this guy was behind people, right? He was behind this person and this person, and they weren't looking at him. He lines up the shot. He shoots this guy first, and then he re-strafes and aims at the Phoenix, who's not moving. And because he re-strafed, it made it harder for him to hit this person. Like, why would you not just move your mouse, right? And shoot it, because it simplifies the movement. You only have to do one action compared to two, where you have to one readjust your aim, or two like stop your movements as well.
How do you find out about these things though? I know. Yeah, because I don't know anything. I kind of just randomly try. Like I used the aim train, but I don't anymore. Now I just did deathmatch mode because I feel like I should just like it feels like predicting the enemy movement feels like the way to
You
go.
don't have to predict the
But
enemy's movement. You just have to move your crosshair
okay,
first.
the point is that I don't know how to approach something like this, and I don't know how to find out like like how do I find out what's the basics for these?
So the way you approach the situation, one, you can either ask an expert, right? There's tons of experts out there that exist in every field, right? And there's a lot of educators, especially nowadays, right? Or two, you sit down and you look at it, and you break it down yourself, right? So what are the elements of aim? Talk to me. Like just think about it.
I have no clue.
Yeah, but like saying you have no clue doesn't help you, right? I want you to seriously sit, look at the game, and think about it. What are the elements of aim, right? Because I know you can do it. You're a smart person, whether you like it or not. You're more intelligent than you give yourself credit for. You just need to sit there for a second and be like, okay, right? So for example, what are the fundamental? What's the thing that you enjoy the most in life? What do you have the most enjoyment in?
In life,
Yeah. What's your favorite hobby? Sports.
I don't do anything. I just play Valorant. Oh, no Twitter, please. Okay. Actually, that would be pretty funny. I don't know.
That was really funny. I won't lie.
Yeah, I really don't do anything in life.
You don't have any hobbies?
I just play Valorant. And like,
Okay.
I watch anime once in a while, but whenever I do, it just feels like, man, I could be playing Valorant or watching a VCT game. once in a while I find a really cute anime and I'm like, okay, this is worth it. But yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had anything that you had to be skillful at in your life? For example, like education?
No, not really.
Oh. Okay, so you've never been taught the principle of how to learn itself.
I just kind of try random stuff for myself and things just work out.
Okay, but how do you approach, how do you decide what random things you should try?
Yeah, I do lot, like, you just think about it and you're like, maybe this might work, and you just do it, and then see if it works or not. If it doesn't, like,
Well, within reason, right? Because
Yeah,
if you say, oh,
kinda.
this random thing might work, right? Well, like, you have to have a reason why, right? For example, if you want to throw a weird smoke, right, you should have a reason why you want to throw said weird smoke.
Yeah, yeah.
You think one day someone just came up with this smoke, like, oh, this smoke's good. No, they were thinking about it like, oh, smoke blocks line of sight. This allows me to go back and forth.
Yeah, of
Which
course.
makes it harder for the site executors to fight and also go inside of this, right? So they had a why behind it. They tested it, they see it worked, and then they just wrote it down. It's the same thing with the Haven smoke, right? It's like you think one day at the start of pro play, do you think everyone was throwing this smoke?
Nope.
No, somebody sat there for a second and was like, oh wait, I blocked line of sight. All that really matters is his front sight control, because they can't plant the bomb if you have this back sight control, right? Traditionally they can, right? So it's like, okay, now we've understood why this sight smoke is strong. Let's try it and see if it works, right? So anytime you do something, you want to try it and see if it works, right? So when it comes to aiming or mechanics, right, now we have to break it down. What's our why? So what do we struggle with? We struggle with hitting moving targets, right? So if we struggle with hitting moving targets, is our technique proper? Right? Because that would be a very basic thing that we should look at, right? If you're swinging a golf club and you're swinging it starting over the top of your head and then axing it down with a fucking like an axe, it's not gonna hit the golf ball very far, right? So technique's important, right? So maybe it's something to do with our mouse control, right? Mouse control is a base fundamental, right? Mouse control, right? Mouse control is your ability to move your mouse back and forth, right? So you kind of know this, right? But it's like, okay, how do I increase my ability to move my mouse from one dot to the next? Is the way you would have broken it down if you were unaware of these terms, right? Because that's part of aiming, right? Moving your mouse from one dot to the next, right? That is the raw fundamental of aiming, right?
Yeah.
So break that down even further. What does it take to move your mouse from one dot to the next?
What? How familiar you are with your sense and stuff, or what?
You have to move it, and then you have to stop, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how do I increase? Because like the faster you can move from one dot to the next, the better, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But if you move it super fast, then you overshoot, that becomes bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do I increase my ability to stop my mouse while keeping the speed of which I stop at? It's about finding that median, right? So does sensitivity really matter? Not really, right? Because like your sense can change as your control gets better, right? Like hypothetically, right? Because hypothetically, the faster the sense, the better off you are, right? If we were robots, the faster you can move your mouse, the better.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, we're not robots, right? So you have to increase your level of control you have in your mouse, which enables you to start hitting sick TDM clips like this and posting on Twitter. Right? Bam! 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 Right? You see how even though you see this, right? It looks fast if you watch it full speed, right? But then when you really look at this transition from this kill to this kill, it really wasn't that fast, right? Like when you really slow it down, like look, all I did was move my crosshair from one dot to the next. That's all I did, right? When you actually break down aiming, that's all that is, right? And this is how life works, and this is how games work, man. Like this is how everything in life, it's all how much can you simplify something, break it down, and then teach yourself how to get better at that skill. That's it. That's all coaching is, and that's all teaching is fundamentally, right? So for example, when you're teaching a kid how to do 2 plus 2, what do you usually do?
Grab two things. Like,
you grab two things, right?
Yeah, and then another two.
So let's
and
say
then,
2 dots,
yeah.
and then we grab 2 red dots, and we combine these together. Now how many dots are there? And then all of a sudden you realize, oh wait, I'm teaching my kid addition before I even taught him how to count. Now there's a problem, right? You simplify that even more, right? You see what I'm saying? it's like one of these things that until you break it down until its most pure form, it's really hard to learn, right? Now, coaches' jobs, once again, of what I'm doing is I'm supposed to try to give you this most pure form that's relatable to you. But my problem when it comes to relating to you, I ask you, what do you enjoy? And you say Valorant. It's not like, well, shit. Like, there's nothing I can relate to, which makes it harder for me because I'm like, okay, well, and then you say you like anime, and I'm like, well, that's not a skill, right? You need some form of skill, which is why I was like, oh, education. Did you have a favorite class? Like, no. And I'm like, well, right? Like, what am I supposed to do? I have nothing to relate it to, which is like whatever. So I can teach you in the way of stuff that you might be familiar with, like mathematics. Like, you might understand mathematics. If it was English, you're out of fucking luck because I don't know how to spell and I don't know how to write. Basically, I do know how to do those things.
Yeah.
But for example, if I wanted to become better at English and spelling, what could I do? I could easily become better at those things, but I actively choose not to because I care, right? But I would break it down, right? How do you spell words, right? Spelling, you can either go by sounding or you can go by memorization, but sounding is probably the most effective way to spell a word. And also understanding principles of how words are constructed in the English language, right? It would be the exact same concept, except, you just break it down in Valorant. Right? So it's like every time you use a piece of utility, you understand that there's using that. So you're blinding your why.
They're about to come out. I think I blind off the sky flash. I heard it. I think.
You don't even blind off the sky flash. Wait, maybe you do. You blind off the sky flash. You know they're coming out, so you blind off the sky flash. Which is perfectly fine, right? So there, like you had a reasoning behind why you used this piece of utility. You knew they were coming out of the main. You heard a sky flash, which is what's called a signifying piece of utility. Like basically telling you that they're going to go out. Sky Flash, Phoenix Flash, right? Sova Dart, Raise Double Satchels, or whatever. I'm looking at the wrong team. Jet Dash, right? Jet Dash, Sky Flash, Phoenix Flash. Those are all signifiers like, hey, we're bursting out of this smoke, right?
Yeah.
You could have flashed off of any of them, right? So it's the exact same concept. You're breaking the principle down as to why you use the flash as a pure form, right? Flash blinds people. Blind does what? Stalls them from coming out or makes it so they can't see, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to hit as many people with said flash. How do you time it? So you see what I'm saying? You see how I'm constantly building upwards. And this is all towards your simple play. Most people don't think about this stuff because like you usually don't need to because your brain connects the dots for you, right? But when it comes to learning a new skill or when you want to get better at something, right? What I'm trying to teach you is that this is why we think about things. This is why we think about hobbies. This is why we think about all these things. Because like the more you think about something, the better you'll have an understanding of it, right? So, with all of that being said, we're going to go into this VOD, and we're going to simplify things very easy. So, like, notice, right, when you kill this person, you actually break it down very easily. You know you have 2 bullets, so you take your time, right? One, you miss, you reset, now look at your movement, ready? Notice how you're only using your movement to aim here. He stops, you recognize he stops, notice how you didn't move your mouse once. This is called movement aim. You're moving with your character, you're aiming with your character compared to aiming with your actual arm. That makes sense? And that's okay, because you're just taking your time to line up the shot. That's not a problem. It was a nice shot. It was a good technique and you demonstrated it properly. God, you're still stuck on this.
Yeah, I didn't have time to see it.
But yeah. So it's like, for example, when you're sitting in a position, right? I want you to ask yourself, why am I in this position? What do I want to do? What does my character benefit by being here?
Oh,
Is there a
tiles.
specific way?
Shoot the guy. I can TP out if they use anything. Too bad. It's not as good as a jet dash, but
Yeah, so maybe you have a read. Or something like that. Traditionally, Ovid's bad.
yeah, it is.
But like against their team, they don't have a Sova, right? It's hard for them to control this front area, right? It's hard for them to clear us out. They'd have to use a Sky Dog or a Sky Flash,
Yeah.
or either of those choices are used. Either TV back pizza or TV back market, right? So it's like, it's not the worst decision. But if we're just gonna go out here, we're gonna take a 50-50 fight. Now we've lost all of our reasoning. Like now we're just saying, me want to shoot my gun, fuck everything else.
Is that?
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Which by the way, this game is a game people shoot people, and I agree. But you still want to use your utilities to your advantage to allow you to shoot people easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
His whole purpose is to make it so you can shoot people easier. or stay alive so you can shoot more people.
So this Wuhojin guy was saying if it's a 50-50, you just take it in a solo queue game.
No. Wait, there's no way Wuhujin said that. But I'm friends
I
with him.
think
I know
he.
you.
I know you are. I remember it was a thing like in solo queue. Maybe it was a long time ago, maybe, but
Yeah, so it's a 50-50. You just take it if you're in a 2v4. Not a 5v5.
I remember the rule was usually like if it's 50-50, you take it, or if it's higher than the odds of winning the higher than the chance of winning the round or something like that.
I don't like it when people quote people without actually knowing what they said. Personally.
Yeah, I gotta find it. I guess.
So this is what I'm saying. This is why notes are important. So you can quote it, and you can also link the timestamp of the note. Right? And then you also have to understand the context of the situation as to what was going on. Like why did he say that? Because there's no way who's just saying, just take any 50-50. Because at that point, why would he even be coaching? like that's his advice, just shoot people in the head. Like that's basically all that advice says. Right? We got a little off topic and sidetracked for like the principles of learning itself. But the point of what I want you to do is just isolate one thing game sense wise, isolate one thing mechanically that you're gonna be working on this whole time, okay?
Oh, I thought comms would be what I'll be working on. I'm not sure.
Is what I want you to work on, because you don't talk at all. And I'm gonna teach you how to work on comms, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember how we talked about your pre-round, your mid-round, your after-death comms?
Yeah, that was very helpful.
Yes. This is what we're going to do, right? This is your rule, right? Now, with these set up, right? With all these speculations set up, I want you to watch one VOD of yourself the entire game daily and only focus on your communication compared to what's going on around you and telling yourself was it good or was it bad. And then, if you're unsure, right? If you can't come to a conclusion, right? For some reason, then you can just message me like, hey, Odie, I edited this 1 minute clip of you from this one game. I was curious if these comms were good. Did I miss anything? Right? Always getting a second opinion is good. And on top of this, you can also get a second opinion from your friends, right? You have friends, right?
Sure.
Okay, you can make friends in my Discord server, and ask a second opinion.
I will send them a Valorant clip and ask them about this.
Well, no, like you just make friends with people and be like, am I doing this right? Or like, do you think this is okay?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
that's not something I would say to my friends at least. You know.
Why not?
I wouldn't talk to them about Valorant.
Why not? I always talk to my friends about Valorant. I mean, if your friends aren't into Valorant, you don't have to, right? I just meant like, friends that are relative to the game of Valorant. Anyway, the whole point of what I want you to work on this whole week is like, game sense-wise, your communication. You're just not talking, right? It's gonna make everything else worse. It's gonna make your decision making worse. It's gonna make everything else worse. But the pre-round comms, right? What's the whole point of talking to your team? You're gonna set up a strategy, right? So as you communicate with your teammates, you're gonna start strategy development subconsciously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna start thinking about what the enemy team does when they make these communications. We'll just tack on to it. The foundation of this game is shooting your gun, which is the second thing that we're gonna work on. Because this is comms falls under quote unquote game sense, right? Then we're gonna work on your mechanics, right? So mechanics-wise, what I want you to work on is up to you in reality, right? So there's a couple elements of mechanics, right? There's your movement and then there's your mouse control, right? So this is what I do for aim training, right? So I run through all of these one run on whatever on 30% my normal sense.
What is this?
And this is it's called voltaic. It's like a benchmark thing. Anyway, what I'm trying to teach you is like mouse control and like how to develop it, right? So you know like when you throw a baseball or like you throw something, it doesn't have to be a baseball, but I was a baseball player. You know when you throw something and your brain just kind of tells you how hard you should throw it, how fast you should throw it. Did you ever throw anything with a rock?
Yeah, I guess. No,
Did you not throw a rock, like a bundle of socks into your laundry bin?
I don't do that. But yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Yeah, like your brain does it. It's the same thing. Like eventually you'll learn how hard and how fast you try it. It's the same thing, but there's like technique, specific ways you can throw things, right?
I feel like I've been trying to do that for ages, and it's
but do you
not
understand
getting
what
better.
technique is? Do you understand what technique
I
is?
actually don't, other than just doing it kind of repeatedly.
Yeah, so
and
you don't understand what it is, right? So, what if I brought up the words flick, micro click to you? Does this mean anything to you?
Flick is like the instantaneous adjustment. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know the difference.
So let's say you are here. This is where your mouse is, and your target is here. Okay. And your initial flick. So this is what's called the initial flick. Your ability to move your crosshair as close to this target as possible. Right. Now notice how my line isn't on the target yet. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is what your micro is. Your micro is this a smaller adjustment from ear to ear. And then your clicking ability is your time and your ability to click while your mouse is on that target, right? So pay attention to this tutorial clip, right? Okay. So I'm here. This is where my target is, right? Now look at my crosshair. Right? So I'm flicking for the jet. Watch. I flick to the raise. Now notice how this is where I stop. I stop short. And then I adjust again, and I shoot. And I click, right? It's very small, but I'll show it to you in a better way. Let me pull up the world's best aimer, and you're going to see it, right? So I'm going to show it to you in full time first. So, mini gods, yes. World record. Right? So, this, right? I want you to watch this, right? And it's going to look like he's just clicking and shooting. Does it look like he's just flicking to the target and shooting?
I can see the
Yeah.
slight
Right,
micro.
You can see it now because I brought it up to you,
Yeah.
right? If I would have showed it to you 10 seconds ago,
Yeah,
you would just
probably.
thought he's just aiming,
Yeah.
right? But now let's even slow it down further, because you can see the slight micros, but now watch how big they actually are. Ready? Look.
Yeah.
Micro, click. Notice how he's past it. Micro, click. Right? Click. And now he lands on it, but notice how he pauses for a second. And then he realizes, he's like, oh, I don't need a micro, and I just click. You know what I'm saying? Notice, as he gets better, sometimes his flicks just land right on the fucking target because he's gone, right? But that's not the case for most people, right? And now,
Sometimes I feel like I'm not fast enough, and if they just strafe, I would never micro fast enough to hit them.
but the more you practice, the faster you get, right? If you are practicing the proper technique, so there's ways that you can practice to get faster, okay? So the micro requires your hand to move in smaller portions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what if we were to increase your sense, you could practice moving in smaller portions? See what I'm doing here? Notice how the movement that you have to do now is even smaller, which means it becomes more precise on a faster sense. Now, what if you feel like you're not fast enough moving from this point to this point? What do you think you would do to practice that more effectively?
Lower sense.
You would lower your sense, right? So now you have to move your arm further, which means on your normal sensitivity that you traditionally play on, that would be a even smaller movement, right? It would be a smaller movement, so you can move that distance in a quicker time. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's the whole point. So the way I practice aim training is with the flick, micro, click intentionally. By the way, aim theory goes way more in depth than what I just did. That was the surface level. If you want to read more about it, I can send you papers.
Oh please,
Yeah. So my question is, right? This is like a resource that's like pretty open and available about how it works. But like in reality, I don't know as much as the aim coaches know, like Minigod and like Skylar and Cartoon. They're all aim coaches, right? They all teach you how to shoot. Like I remember, this principle of mouse control is only for your mouse, right? This also can get broken down into movement. So, you want to see something crazy?
sure.
Aimer 7 movement guide. Aimer 7 movement. 7-page document on the different styles of movement and how to work on. I don't know where it is. But like, yeah, like this is the thing. Is like it goes like super far in depth, and that's what I want you to understand. Because like when you look at it in really slow speed, it doesn't look that impressive, right? Like it almost looks like you can do it, right? Do you feel like at this speed, 0.25 speed, you could replicate these movements?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably replicate something close to these movements. You probably wouldn't be as exact or whatever, right? Now let's move it to 0.5. You feel like maybe you could replicate this speed?
Probably. Should be okay with this.
This is actually a really fast speed, by the way. This is like your normal, like, I'm pretty sure 0.5 of his speed is my speed that I do that.
I feel like this is too... I feel like static targets are not difficult.
But yeah, that's the whole point, right? So I'm not an aim coach. I'm not an aim theory person, but I understand the basic concepts of how to practice it, because understanding how to practice it means you'll get better, right? So understanding how to practice something is how you get better at something. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this session, right? This whole session's principle that I'm teaching you is you have to understand how to practice something more effectively to get better at it. So you notice how I said, wow, you're playing a lot of games? Because you played, I don't know, what, 50, 60 games between now and the last time I saw you?
Is that a lot?
Right? Yeah, you played about 60 games, I think. This is the 21st, so this is 8. So at 5, what, how many games do you play? How many games are up here? So there's 60 games up here, and this is excluding 9. So you played 51 games between now and the last time I saw you, right? Which by the way, that is a lot of games. I acknowledge that, but at the same time, whatever, you're on your grind king. You slay, right? But like, the thing that I'm trying to show you is that what if instead of us playing 51 games without thought, what if we played 6 games a day with a specific intention, and then did drills outside of those games, and then practice the specific thing you're getting better at? Have you ever thought to sit down and write down the callouts on every single map by hand?
Oh, what do you mean by callouts?
So like the location. So for example, like this is shadow.
No.
Shadow/emo, right? This is cubby. This is rabbit. You ever thought to do that?
Nope.
Do you think that would make you more confident in your callouts faster as you died?
I've never tried anything like that, so I wouldn't know.
But do you think that that's like a simplification of understanding where somebody was standing, right?
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with aim training, right? Aim training is just to develop one skill. You know what I'm saying?
I rarely speak to people at all, so...
Yeah, that's okay. You barely speak to people at all, but we're going to change that. Here's the thing, man. I'm telling you this for the good of not only you as a player, but you as a future person. You cannot be scared to try to learn things, and you cannot be scared to, like, become better at something. Does that make sense? Like, if just because you don't do something, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, right? Or like, you know, not that you even be scared, but just because like, oh, I don't do it now doesn't mean you can't be good at it in the future. How do you think I got good at Valorant?
Just keep going at it.
I kept going and I kept finding things that I was bad at, and I worked on them, right? You can apply this to every principle and any skill that you want to learn in life, like 100%.
Valorant's a safe space, man. You don't get roasted if you don't say anything. You just trial and error.
Okay, well, people that roast you, you know what's crazy about people that roast you? They're lacking a fundamental skill that they don't even realize. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. Now imagine you played normal death matches, but every time you died, or every time you killed somebody, you called the agent name and the location that they were, and how much you hit them for.
It sounds good.
Sounds, because that's a fundamental way to practice. So what if we spent 30 minutes per day on that? And then every day, I had you write down in a different font color the locations of every single map. And then when you're watching your VODs, the only thing you paid attention to was what you said in the pre-round and what you said in the mid-round. And that way you didn't have to focus on your after-round comms, right? Because you're already practicing that in two separate ways, right? Or your after-death bombs. Do you see how now we're isolating and developing a skill? Okay, so how does that sound when we do that for this week? And we just only focus on your communication. Now, I'm going to tell you this, as a player, you probably won't rank up that much from doing this, right, truthfully. But the point is it will make you a better player in the long run, and that's my goal as a coach. And on top of that, now that you know that breaking down and developing a skill is important, you'll be able to apply this to more concepts. So for example, let's say you struggle at map control, right, and you don't understand it. Map control is the essence of what? Information, right? Map control is just information, no?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're here, you have information. It's information plus position. That's what map control is, right?
Yeah.
So if you are here, you are getting information on this entire line, right? If you are here, you're getting information on this entire cross, and you are seeing whether or not these people are here. And you're putting yourself in a safe space. Because if you're up here, right, you're getting the same information. But if you die, right, then you die. Like your team loses this entire map control. Or compared to here, you have map control of A, but your risk of dying becomes less. But now at the same time, you have to kill the enemy in order for you to win, right?
Yeah.
So being here, it's a less common angle, so you have a higher probability of being able to kill the enemies, right?
Yeah.
Do you see how, like, I'm breaking it down and there's risk versus reward depending on the situation? And these are things that the game isn't black and white, so I can't teach you which position is statistically better for every situation. But now, all of a sudden, you realize this equals map control, and this equals map control. What if we have somebody that's baiting for us here, they shoot, and they run away, and then as my team tries to chase them, I'm just, like, in this corner. And they run out long, and then I just kill them free. Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, these are bait and switch situations where it's like you're doubling up on the information in order to get a kill. Right? And like, this all doesn't necessarily help you, but I'm trying to show you the principle of like learning itself. Okay? Like, that's what I'm trying to teach you in this situation, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so with communication, these are the elements of your communication, right? This is all I want you to think about, right? For aim training, okay? All I want you to do, I mean, you can go buy an aim coach if you want to. I can link you to some. I don't know how much they cost, but if you wanted to buy an aim coach, you could, right? But all I want you to do, there's this thing called Voltaic. It's a playlist on aim labs, right? I want you to start with the novice ones. I want you to run through all these scenarios once. You click this play button, and it'll open up your aim lab.
Is this a link?
Yeah, this is a link. So it links the playlist. And then, so aim lab's a little buggy, but like, it essentially allows you to play every scenario. And the way you do it, I'll show you. Let me show you. Here. And we're just going to work on your mouse control at first because it's going to be easier, and I want to simplify learning for you first before we go on. But like this stuff, right? So if you pay attention, see all these exercises on the right?
Yeah.
These are all the exercises. So instead of like, here, I'll just like play one task or something. Real quick, give me a second. I'll just play through one 6-second task. I don't really care. I just need to show you the end screen.
Wait, how do I get this to get the launch of my aim labs?
I will show you in a second. I'm just showing you exactly what you have to do after you click it. You need to get through this. It's like 60 seconds or something. I'm not practicing the proper technique, I'm just moving around, if I'm going to be honest. I'm just like swinging my mouse, I'm too lazy to practice proper performing right now. Anyway, so there you go, yada yada yada, whatever. we do that, and then instead, sometimes when you click play next task, it like bugs, and I don't know why. But like instead of clicking play next task, I always just go to the second one. But I'm gonna see what happens. So it should be VT Angel Shot, and so it did it. But I'm gonna probably redo this. Like you know what I'm saying? But you just kind of like click one at a time. And that's how you kind of do it. That makes sense. Like I just click through the list and go one at a time. If you have, well, I know for a fact you have more than 60 minutes every day. Running through these one at a time. What I do is I do low sense, and I do my normal sense for a day, and I do high sense and my normal sense for a day, right? That's how I practice, right? So I do 30% higher and 30% lower, so whatever your sense is, right? Take your sensitivity, 0.39, right? 0.39 multiplied, or 0.39 times 0.3, right? And then 1.17, I just take 0.29 minus 1.17, or 0.17, right?
Yeah. I'll probably have to change my DPI for that.
Why?
My sense is 0.03 in game. It's gonna be hard to adjust.
No, because you just multiply by point.
I don't know how small the next changes would be.
0.09. 0 by 0.009. And then
I would
in Aimlabs,
increase
the
it
part
by
about it is,
0.09. Is that enough? Wow.
you can still do it, right? Now, keep in mind, this is on my DPI and shit.
Yeah.
So like, this is different. I don't know
I'm
what
on
the fuck your DPI is.
3000 DPI, that's why.
Yeah, so you can just enter DPI. There's a way to change DPI settings right here under settings. So, but yeah, that's like the whole thing. But anyway, so the way you do this, right, is you just go to app. It's called app.voltaic.g, and then you just enter your name. So here, I'll just link it to you. Okay. And then you'll enter your name, like case sensitive, by the way. So that means od26, uppercase, right? And then boom. And then I can also track your scores.
Where? Hold on.
Yeah.
Where's my username?
Username. So when you go to Aimlabs itself, right? If you go to Aimlabs itself, it should be like the top right or something. Oh, it's right there. Yeah.
Is it all caps?
There it is. All caps. Hold on. Wait, no, that's... you can just sign in. Wait, hold on. Go back to your username, or your Aimlabs. So it's not giving you a green arrow, so make sure you're spelling right. It's like click your Aimlabs again. Pilot. Have you... Try changing the capitalization. Maybe it's Pilot, like maybe it's lowercase. This is case sensitive, but like, I don't know. There you go.
Okay, hold on.
Alright. And now at the top of that, you're gonna go click Valorant. On the very top of your screen. Valorant. And there's a little play button. See how you're in Novins? We're gonna start you in Novins, because like, whatever. Now remember, when you are playing, your goal is to practice with proper technique. We don't care about the score itself. Right?
Yeah.
So there's a general rule of thumb that when you're practicing, you should aim for 85% accuracy. If you're below 85% accuracy, that means you need to slow down, and if you're above 85% accuracy, that generally means you need to speed up. Roughly. But yeah, that's like the whole thing. Like, all I want you to do is simplify your learning process, like on your communication, plus your skill. Are these the best things that are the weakest things in your gameplay this week? Probably not, if I'm going to be honest. But right now, I don't want you worrying about improving as fast as possible. What I want you worrying about is learning itself. You should also like look into the Voltaic Discord, or like should maybe message like game coach and ask questions of like how you're supposed to set up your settings, how you're supposed to do that sort of stuff. But anyway, so if you go to it, right? Go to the like playlist.
Here or in
Aimlabs, right? So notice, scroll all the way down. Right, notice how there's only 11 exercises?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked. Wait, why do you only have 11 exercises? Wait, did you click the play button? What did you click when you opened it up? No, so go back to the thing. Did you put the
I clicked this one here, yeah?
Click it again. Click it again, yeah. Wait. I think I know why. Wait, hold on. Go back to your app voltaic thing.
This one?
Honestly, I don't understand why that's happening. So what we're gonna do, hold on, you're gonna hit escape. You're gonna go to your aim labs.
Why did it just move to my second monitor?
Oh, that's gonna happen sometimes. You just gotta switch it back to your monitor. That happens. Because, okay, here's the thing. You don't have to go to app voltaic. Once you download the playlist, it'll be in aim labs. You can just search by playlist. It's a lot easier. That's what I was gonna have you do.
Wait, go to...
So I want you to go to aim labs. And I want you to hit, exit lobby. Oh wait, you were perfect actually. The second time it opened up, it was good. You're gonna hit play. You're gonna go to, wait, hold on. Actually go to custom. Then go to playlist. And then you're going to go Melvin Search Box. There it is. Right there, right at the top. Now you can hit play.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No. There you go. And there you go. That's how you like do it. Now obviously you don't want to change eventually like your background settings and stuff, or whatever, like to make it like perfect. But for now, you can just like work on aim training and stuff. Like do this for 60 minutes a day. So what I want you to do, right, every day, is I want you to watch your VODs back. So I'm gonna make a list of things for you to do. Because you notice how you're playing like 10 to 15 games a day every day?
Yeah.
Do you think that's optimal? Probably not, right? 7 games per day, right? That's what I want you to do. Aim train, slow days plus fast days, right? And then what is it? Write down locations on every map, palms, palms back, right? 5 PMs. Every time you die, you do palm location, agent name, location, how much you hit them for, and if you kill them, agent name, plus dead, plus where, right? So, we've now implemented 7 games, just 5 hours, because you're already playing for like 12 hours, right? Plus 3 different methods to practice specifically what we want to work on this week, right? In a simple structure. On top of this, I want you to warm up too, by the way. Warm up. I want you to preempt the measures for hand stretches. You ever do that?
Kind of do it when it's pain, when it's hurting.
No, see that's bad. That's called being silly with me.
Yeah, probably should.
Basically, you can pick any injuries. There's somebody that's called like Doctor or whatever or something. Things like Doctor Huey or something.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
I don't know what his name is, but you just pick any fucking stretches, right? So I want your warm-ups to be 5 minutes of stretches, 5 to 10 minutes, whatever routine you find, right? Of stretches before you play. Run your hands under warm water for 30 seconds. Because this is my tech, and you're gonna do it. And then you're also gonna play 1 TDM, and then you're just gonna hop your ring games. Just one, okay? That's it. That's all I want you to do.
Okay.
This is going to be your routine every single day for this week, okay? Now, obviously, right? Whatever. Obviously, it's like whatever. Now, notice...
What's slow days plus fast days, by the way?
So slow days, so the way aim training is, you're aim training for 1 hour, by the way. So it's 1 hour. Perfect. I'm glad you asked this question. So slow days and then fast days. So slow days plus fast days. Slow day equals 1 run through the playlist on 30% slower sense activity plus 1 run on your normal sensitivity, and then fast saves are 1 run through the playlist on 30% faster sense plus 1 run through normal sense. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is, let's see, aim train, Valorant routine.
So I alternate between a slow day and then a fast day, kind of?
Yeah, so you alternate. And then once per week, so pick a day per, actually you don't have to take a rest day. Rest days are up to you, if you have a real train or whatever. And then after prac. So you traditionally want to take a break. So like after, you traditionally want to take a break between each one of these segments. So like, for example, you'll wake up to your Valorant morning routine, right? And then you'll aim train, right? But maybe take like a 30-minute break, go get food after this or something, right? Or like go watch an episode of the anime that you really enjoy, right? Whatever, aim train, Valorant after prac. I remember how we talked about breaking things down into their most basic form?
Yeah.
What is the most basic part of Valorant itself? And like getting, like existing? What's the most basic part of existing?
Existing?
Yeah, like what do you have to take care of in order to ever move your arms, in order to move your mouse? Like what do you have to take care of?
My personal health.
Your personal health, right? So next you can look at it. Are you sleeping properly? Are you eating? You know, all these sort of things, they all play a role in how good you are at Valorant. Isn't that wild? Like nobody thinks about this sort of stuff, and that's why I'm so fascinated about it. If you want to, what I want you to look up is the theory of marginal gains. Theory of marginal gains, right? And if you want to read a book, it's called Atomic Habits, right? Book, Atomic Habits, Theory of Marginal Gains. These are the two things I base my principles of teaching off of and like learning. Normally I don't go in depth like this with students, but to me it seems like you're really lost on everything and you just don't know where to go or any direction to have. Right? So you notice how we pick specific agents for what you're going to play on specific maps? That's based off the idea that you were going to simplify it, right? So you're going to have one role to play, right? And you're isolating a variable. Like you know you're always going to play Omen, Astra, Harbor, Omen, Astra, so you can install without thinking about it, right? You're not like, oh, we have this comp, so I want to do this, right? Like we haven't even learned the Omen, Harbor, Astra track, right? So let's not worry about what agent we're going to pick on what map if we haven't learned the tech for all of them yet, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so this is what I want you to focus on. If you have any questions, please ask me. Remember, stretches are super important. Do not skip them, okay? If you skip them, you can get hurt. Because you're going to be aim training for an hour a day, and you're going to be doing after prac, right? And it's exhausting. And the only reason why your schedule's this long, by the way, is because you play 10 games a day anyway. Right? I personally think this is, by the way, this routine is like the equivalent of what I give like a pro player. Like the length of it, right? Now a pro player would have scrims on top of all of this, right? But, you know, you can shorten it. You can shorten it to 5 games a day if you want to, like whatever you feel is necessary.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah, I was trying to get a VOD. It's really hard to find, like, I don't know.
So, VODs are interesting because to me it's not about the VOD. I'm gonna be honest, you can send me any VOD and we might come to a similar conclusion. But with you, I don't really care about the VOD because I don't think me going over your VOD is really gonna help you improve as a player, if I'm gonna be honest. What I want you to do is seriously learn about how to improve itself, okay?
Yeah. I was actually gonna ask questions about how to like path on the site because I never had to do that.
You're gonna ask what?
I was gonna ask questions about how to path on the site because I never had to do that. I always set like main or
so pathing on the site, but pathing on the site is a very simple, like it's a principle, right? It's a principle that is based on your position, right? So there's no one way I can teach you how to path on the site, right? There's different things depending on what you want to accomplish, right? So for example, let's go to Ascent, right? And you want to path on the site, right? And you're playing Omen, right, or something. Now, if we go out and there's a killjoy setup that she's setting up every single round like this, right? Then shit, we probably don't want to go lane, do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just like flood out, right? Smoke here. Maybe my teammates, tell your teammates to run stairs with your communication that we're specifically working on, and then you hold the smokes that you have smoked here. Like maybe you're gonna sit outside here or in boathouse or logs, and you're gonna hold this smoke, or you're gonna hold this smoke.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now we like broke the turret for our teammates, we held the smokes for them, they scale sight, they killed the killjoy player, right? And then boom, and then just path back to lane now that killjoy set. Or we path back to aim, like B main, so they have a stronger post plan, right? See what I'm saying? So that's all situational based. Now, if they're a type of team that doesn't have a killjoy, but they're playing like a fast flood setup, like let's say they're always playing a sub off site, right?
Yeah.
They're playing a Sob off site where the Sob is just shooting this dart here every time. Maybe we walk out preemptively aiming the dart where our teammates scale in front of us. Like our jet dash is out, we walk out, and we're not even looking at these positions. Like we'll check them for a second, but we're instantly flicking on house where the dart would be. Right? Maybe that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about assessing the situation. That's why Valorant's hard because it's not black or white, you know? Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, Liking. I have to go stream, as a matter of fact, I held for 30 minutes for you. I was supposed to go live like 30 minutes ago, but
Sorry.
I thought this was a, no, don't ever apologize, because I'm actually taking the time. I'm just letting you know that I have to go, okay? But I appreciate the conversation, hopefully you appreciated it. I will upload the VOD later, so that we can go watch it anytime. If you have any questions, please reach out and DM me. Do not be scared to DM me. Even if it takes me a couple hours to respond, it's not a big deal. Even if it takes me a day to respond, it shouldn't be a big deal, right? Because I am obviously a human, right? I'm a busy person. But
Yeah, you should go.
If you're ever confused on anything, let me know, right? And if you're ever confused about technique, let me know. I can, Voltaic is a resource that has a bunch of resources on like how like aim training works, but there's also a bunch of aim coaches, so I'll list you some as well for some reason. Cartoon, like for example, if you want one, Mini God, CS, Viscos, Skylar, right? Those are some different aim coaches you can look up on Twitter, and you can find them. They're all good, they're all reputable. There's more, I can give you more if you want more. But yeah. Anyway, okay, I gotta go, brother. Have a good one. Peace.
See ya.